Hey everybody, welcome to Valentine TV. As y'all know, this is uh jury selection for the Diddy trial. The trial will start Monday, May 12th. I am trying to keep up. I will be doing reactions to it. So that is what I'm doing. But except for this one, it's more like a reminder. Uh I'm gonna let you can figure it out yourself, but the reaction today is coming from Tisa Tales, um, who, as I'm just, did y'all read the description? Yeah, she was the first one to bring up the Jonathan Oddi. I was there, so I got to see it all, how it all unraveled. Yes, we was all there years ago, and then I seen a lot of other content creators, talking about her like bad, like the story wasn't true. And now look, all these years later, okay. But anyway, she has it all in her playlist. If y'all want to go, it is time stamped and everything. Okay, so we knew. So anyway, I'm gonna let her have her. She's gonna have her little moment, and I think she deserves it. But anyway, y'all, that's who I'm gonna be reacting from, like right now. And then I have another video like after this. Okay, as you can tell, I'm a little down today, but everything will be all right. Y'all, please hit that subscribe button and please like the video. And let's get her started. Let's get started. All right, wait just a second. I want the whole. There we go.
Hey, what's up? Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing, you guys? This is a groundbreaking day. Jonathan Oddi has confirmed all the rumors. If you guys don't know who Jonathan Oddi is, baby, we got the NDA. The ex-wife is spilling too. We're going to get into all of it. But if you guys don't know who Jonathan Oddi actually is, he was Diddy's rumored smash slave. Now, who was the one that started that rumor? Baby, it was me. You guys know if you've been coming to my channel for a while, I have had exclusives when it comes to Sean Diddy case. We've had exclusive on what's going on. We were the very first one to break this case about Jonathan Oddi and how back in 2014, he told the truth about what was going on with Diddy, what was going on with Rick Ross, what was going on with DJ Khaled, and what was going on with Cassie. We were the first ones to dig up his actual police interrogation where he literally told us about the freak offs in 2014. We were
Y'all, he really, truly did. And the police act like they kept trying to cut him off. And so he was talking about the boule and the black boule. I mean, all of that stuff, y'all gotta go watch her during find it on the playlist. Okay, it is great. It is great. I wasn't doing reactions then, but anyway, I might go get one from her channel myself. Yes. I've been a long time follower of Tisa's, and people talk, let them talk, but everything she said has come, it's right here. Y'all seen it yourself. All right, so let's go. Wait a minute, y'all. A minute. Okay.
also the first to break that there was a death hoax involving Jonathan Oddi. It couldn't come from Jonathan Oddi, but many people said it either came from Diddy's team or it came from the feds. Now, I'm not going to lie. We were dragged all up and down YouTube by dummies that had no critical thinking sense. They called us liars.
Yeah.
They called us this. They called us that. Guess what? The feds have confirmed. Major news outlets have confirmed. And we have gotten our hands on the NDA that Diddy Diddy paid Jonathan Oddi a few $1 million to keep quiet because he knew everything, including the fact that Jonathan Oddi said that Diddy paid him off because Diddy gave him the herp and a few other things. And while they were having the freak offs, Diddy would do business. This implicates Mark Garagos, Diddy's current lawyer. This implicates Ben Massalas. It definitely implicates Diddy, Rick Ross, and Khaled. We have all the evidence. We have all the receipts, and we are about to get into this live. You guys, buckle up. This is crazy. Listen, this is crazy. Where do we start? Hold on, y'all.
All right. Y'all, I'm going to let you know right now, I will be skipping some because she's getting some like breaking news that comes in on her phone and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But other than that, we're gonna let her rock.
Oh. 1 second. One second. Let me just get everybody in here.
Okay, let's go.
Because I feel like a lot of people missed over that part. It explains why Diddy was not even able to support.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Excuse me. She's coming. I don't want y'all to miss nothing by me skipping and stuff. All right, here we go. Come on, Tisa. All right, let me go back. Sorry, y'all. Here we go. Just 1 second. Oh, Lord, help us all. Okay, I'm going to do it like this. All right, I can at least...
Pardon him. Now, for y'all saying Trump, the president can't give pardons and Trump would never pardon Diddy. Well, that part might be true. But as far as the president can't give pardons, Trump just pardoned Eric Adams. That's Diddy's buddy. Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, Trump just pardoned him on all charges. Diddy was hoping and praying that he could get a pardon from Donald Trump. Okay? Hoping and praying. However, in this interview, I'm going to play you because I feel like a lot of people missed over that part. It explains why Diddy was not even able to secure a pardon from Trump. Why? Because Mark Garagos, according to Jonathan Oddi, and he heard this during a freak off, and this has been confirmed. Mark Garagos,
let's see. Okay.
Mark Garagos,
all right. As you come in, y'all, please hit the subscribe
Mark
button.
Garagos, sorry, I just got more information in. Mark Garagos was the person, if you guys know, that just joined Diddy's team. He has been afraid to actually join as an official lawyer. He has been a consultant. Part of it is they're saying he is trying to get around the gag order. The other part.
And listen, y'all, that's what I was, as far as like TMZ goes, that's why, because the lawyer, that's supposed to be a consultant for Diddy, but he was going back to the Two Angry Man show with him and Harvey Levin. And he's supposed to be a Diddy lawyer consultant. That's why I don't, as far as TMZ, I don't know. I don't know about TMZ, y'all. To me, that's just to me, my opinion. Okay.
Of the matter is, and this is like the little scary part, he has a history with Trump. Jonathan Oddi said during the freak off, Ben Massalas, Mark Garagos, they weren't in the freak offs, but Diddy was on the phone with them in some capacity. And they were doing a concerted effort to take Trump down during his first term. He is saying that they actually put money behind Stormy Daniels to try to take Trump down. Now, back then it seemed pretty far-fetched, but ask yourself, how would he know about Mark Garagos? How would he know about Ben Massalas? How would he know about what they were doing behind the scenes? Because this has been confirmed by many political things. How would they know that? Why would Diddy sign an NDA? And we have the NDA. We're going to show it to you. Why would Diddy sign an NDA with a SMEX worker who he's never met. This NDA has been confirmed and 100% has Diddy's thing on it. Let's also not forget that this man was dead broke. He had a negative $1,800 in his bank account. The day after he settled with Diddy, he went on a buying spree of buying 4 or 5 properties at a time. He blew through millions of dollars buying up property in the South Florida area. On top of that, there is an REC, that is a property development firm that Jonathan Oddi wanted to establish and he talked about many times. Diddy has REC also that he invested $2 million into that fund. Now, where is Jonathan Oddi right now? We have a little information about that too. Jonathan Oddi, people are saying, is a confidential federal witness. I was the first one to float that. Why? Because he has been in jail since May 21st, 2018. It is 2025. He is not mentally insane. He is fit. And every time he may or may not show up in court, most of the time he doesn't. And the trial just keeps getting kicked down. That is saying that
they always, every time they postpone it. They do this, they do every time. So he hasn't had a court. He hasn't had his trial at all. And then somebody reported that he had been deceased, which that we found that wasn't true. Okay, and when I say we, I'm talking about Tisa and the Tattle. Okay, yes, I'm one of them. But anyway, and he was just in federal protection. That's what we thought back then, also. Okay, because we went through all the certificates and just when we seen that, we had to figure it out. But y'all see what Oddi looked like? Jonathan Oddi looked like back then. That's when he was working with Diddy and Cassie, allegedly. I better say. Yeah, just read my banner, okay? But that's what he looked like when he worked with them. And Diddy would make deals and stuff over the phone while he was watching Cassie and whatever they was doing down in there, wherever they were doing, but Diddy was on loudspeaker stuff, making deals, and that's how he know all of these names and stuff, and some of the things that were going on. Yeah, just listen, okay? Y'all please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I see y'all.
You are a confidential informant. You are in witness protection in some way or form. It is not normal, nor is it constitutional, nor is it anything that a person that is fit to stand trial has not stood trial and nothing has come to trial in the last, what are we going on now? 2018 is 2000. In the last 7 years, no. Listen, we're about to break down this Jonathan Oddi stuff. We have the NDA. We're going to get into it. All right. First and foremost, let's get into the Jonathan Oddi NDA. Again, this is for all the haters on YouTube.
Go ahead, girl.
That said I was making up stuff. That said I literally put up a fake thing, even though they were too stupid to actually click on the video and see what I said. Please let me do my victory lap. They were too dumb to literally click on my video and see how I decoded the Jonathan Oddi, deconstructed the Jonathan Oddi death hoax. And the whole question is, dummies, not y'all, the dummies in the back. Y'all know right? The whole thing is, it's not the fact that a death hoax came up once I released this information and when it was starting to go viral. It's a fact of who would have a vested interest in doing that? Who would have a vested interest? But again, baby, we are here for critical thinking skills. If you love critical thinking, please come up to the front because we are about to break this all the way down. Okay, so with no further ado, let me refresh you on who Jonathan Oddi is, give you a quick thing, and then we are going to get into the NDA, and then we are going to get into all the other stuff. And during the day, I am going to be releasing a lot of my oldie but goodies investigations because, baby, they still stand the test of time. And now that the mainstream media, the feds have already got behind this, baby. But now that the mainstream media is finally touching the research that we broke, that we did Well, baby, now maybe for the naysayers, people can feel comfortable coming out and actually joining this investigation to find out what is going on. People are saying that Jonathan Oddi, if he does not testify, his knowledge of the information he gave the feds, okay, that knowledge the feds use to help build the Miami portion of the Diddy's case. I know, you guys, it's a lot. So let's get into this, okay? Let's get into this. Let's see, where am I at? Hi, everybody. Okay, first, let's go into the Jonathan Oddi
Sorry.
video, okay?
Sorry.
If you guys don't know, this is Jonathan Oddi, okay? This is Jonathan Oddi. He's right here in the left-hand corner. This is where he first came on our radar. This is the surveillance tape from when he was in the Trump Durrell, okay?
And this is where we found this. I mean, it all came together. He told everybody to get out. He wasn't there to hurt anybody. In his mind, he was in the kitchen or somewhere like that. He had water running. He even left the water running at his house. He came, something hit his mind, and he just started acting this way, y'all. He just came to the place and did what he did. All right, I'd be scared to hit the button. Okay.
Where he bought a bang bang and everything went amok. The interesting thing that was the first thing that literally got on our radar is the fact that he wasn't trying to injure civilians. He wasn't trying, I'm going to play this in a second. He wasn't trying to injure civilians. He wasn't trying to hurt civilians. He actually told all the civilians to leave the lobby, literally did bang bang, said everybody get out. They ran. On top of that, he told the front desk people before they left to call the police because he had it in for the police. Why is that? Because the dancing bear, we were the first to expose the dancing bear. We were the first ones to uncover the escort agent.
Yes. That's where Diddy, and that's where he found all of the people, the workers that he wanted to come to the FOs and stuff.
Agency that Diddy uses in New York City, okay? Some of those escorts, watch out for them in trial. However, when it comes to the dancing bear, that is where Cassie and Diddy would hire Jonathan Oddi. He had about 15 encounters with Diddy. He was the fave and he heard a lot. Again, he had a thing for the police. Let's not forget, in the investigation, I'll put up the lives later, the police in Miami-Dade County actually had a burner account that they used to also book things with the dancing bear to hire escorts like Jonathan Oddi and his friend Caesar, who also was convicted on a count of domestic terrorism. Again, how many murderers or attempted murder can come out of one escort agency? The police are deep in this. This goes into what people said about the fact that Diddy has police covering up his crimes, or at least the police on payroll. Again, all will be revealed. I know I'm getting excited. All right, let's first of all get into, this is actual footage from Jonathan Oddi when he was in there and trying to set up an ambush for the police. Look at this.
Y'all look over the music, please. It won't last but a second. Sorry. Darn. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I gotta mess up.
So right here is the police outside. Again, he cleared the hotel of civilians. Civilians were not his target. He had an issue with the police. There he is right now running outside, right? He is running outside.
Story is bad news because it's embarrassed. That's why he's going crazy with that. It's not that he's lost the American people. He's embarrassed about Stormy's situation. Okay?
So you don't have
Time in the United States?
yeah.
Just my dog Bubbles. My
Your dog?
Yeah. Diddy and Ross,
Yes,
which are good buddies. Okay, they're gay.
Who?
Both
He's talking about Diddy and Ross.
Diddy and Ross and Khaled. They're all gay. Okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
and that was back in the day, y'all. Look how many years ago that was.
Gotcha. All right.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter.
Okay.
Okay.
Who supported?
Hamas.
Hamas. Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No worries.
Hamas supporter. Okay. I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot.
Oh, hidden in plain sight.
It's hidden.
I think I see what you're saying.
Okay, how do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy,
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself
Yeah.
these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called.
Okay, you guys. So this has been on FDL Special Agent Interrogation, Jonathan Oddi Trump Darrell shooter. This has been on world police sites for real world police for the last 5 years. It has been
For the last 5 years, y'all. And people has been clowning Tisa's channel since she came out with stuff with Jonathan Oddi, okay? I mean, I didn't say anything because I don't go to other people's pages and type in bad stuff. I don't do that. I just keep scrolling, okay? That's what I wish people would learn to do. But anyway, all her stuff came to pass.
been on their YouTube channel, Instagram channel. What do? It is a Patreon. I got it off their Patreon. It's a Patreon that the police actually use where they show interrogation videos to each other. Okay. Why was this important? Not because of the Diddy. Okay. This is what happens when he banged up Trump's Darrell, right? He banged up Trump Darrell. At that point, people thought that maybe it was like a wayward assassination attempt on the press or this and that. Even as you see, when they got to the interrogation part, and I'm going to play it in full, but I just want to get to the NDA first. When they got to the interrogation part, they thought that he was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And he was trying to put them down on game about Diddy, the rug trafficking. Don't forget that the feds grounded his private flight. They were trying to take this investigation overseas. That's why Diddy, people are saying, literally was trying to rush this because they didn't want this investigation overseas. Sex trafficking is one thing, and international rug trafficking is completely different. Okay.
And y'all, another reason why they sort of didn't believe Jonathan Oddi is, you see, he's in a hospital gown. He has on the hospital socks and stuff like that. But you seen what he looked like before when it was all happening. He just got ran his toll on him, and that joker.
Now I'm about to show you guys the NDA. I wish I put my watermark on it. I know the same haters that said I was lie. It's going to come back and steal my ish and try to make a story out of it. But you know what? You're welcome. Believe me, baby. Believe me, sweetie. I got enough to feed the greedy. All right. Believe me, sweetie. I got enough to feed the needy. Right? There's more. Right? So anyway, you're welcome. You're welcome. But all jokes aside, okay, let me stop joking, right? Because you guys, it's a full circle moment. And I love the fact that all the research we put in, you guys, all the ways we saw through the stupid, dumb, like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs conspiracy theories and actually chased a real story and found real evidence. Again, this has been up for a while, but nobody made the Diddy thing. Nobody made the Diddy connection. Nobody made the connection between Diddy, the Dancing Bear, Jonathan Oddi, and Cassie. And back then, this interrogation happened in 2018. However, Jonathan Oddi, as you can see right here, I know he looked like he had a rough paper route, but Jonathan Oddi, as you can see in the thumbnail, this is the 2012. No, this is the 2012-13 Jonathan Oddi. He was.
See, that's what Diddy like. Look, buff. He had hair, all of that. He didn't look like anything like he did in the interrogation. Y'all, please, as you come in, hit the subscribe button, that like button, and share it if you can. Thank you.
Buff. He was swole. He was doing his thing. He had hair. He had muscles. What you see in that interrogation room where he got the grippy socks on and the little hospital gown, that he has the grippy socks and he has the hospital gown, that is Jonathan Oddi after the freak offs and everything took his toll. Okay, that is the Jonathan Oddi that he lost his mind after being used by a rag doll. A lot of people didn't make the connection, even though it is in 2018. He wasn't talking about having free calls. He was talking about he had free calls somewhere around 2012, 2013, a few at the latest in 2012, 13, and 14. That is when he had the free calls, and he was one of Diddy's favored pets. Okay.
Yeah.
If you guys want more information, I'll re-upload the lives and do explanations. But again, we found even the escort agencies in New York he used, the ones in, we did full-on investigation. Now, one thing that came out in the interrogation was the fact that Jonathan Oddi was alleging that Diddy gave him the herp. Okay? Now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we discovered that way back when, you know?
When that happened, a lot of people were very, very skeptical. And again, this is what Jonathan Oddi says. He has an NDA to back it up. We do not have access to Sean Diddy Combs' medical records. We are telling you what was established through confidential settlement, according to the person that actually settled. Now, here's the thing. Jonathan Oddi, one of the ways he was able to get the 4 or 5 million, I'm going to play you where he says that, is the fact that he kept a video of the freak offs. And he said Mark Garagos and Ben Masalis, Mark Garagos negotiated for the return of that tape and everything and all the sign off for the health records for about 4.5 million. However, Jonathan Oddi did tell the police he kept a copy of that tape and he would be willing to give it to the police officers if they wanted to pass it along to the DA, because he said that Diddy was moving drugs. Again, the police officer that was interrogating thought he was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and didn't want to give him, didn't want to entertain that line of business. Y'all better be glad I'm not in the police. I would have been there like, slow down. You say Cassie and Sean Diddy Combs had you as a sex slave. What? I would have been like, slow down. We got all day, so tell me. So, like, what's Rick Ross's favorite order at Wingstop? So DJ Khaled, like, but when you saw him, was he eating something? Like, what was he saying?
Yeah, like I said, the police in the interrogation, they kept trying to stop him. They kept interrupting. You know what I'm saying? Now I know they wish they'd have let it ride unless they were one of those paid ones. Not saying that they are, that's just my opinion.
But he was like, yeah, we the truth. While he was hitting it from the back, I would like to know what is going on. I would have asked him every little question, no matter how petty. I'd have been like, what color? I know where this Sean Diddy look goes on. What's his favorite meal? So when the freak-offs are happening, what's the camera look like? I would have been in their business. Y'all already know. Y'all should be glad I don't work for the FBI. Please. But anyway, they thought that Jonathan Oddi was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So he was like, yeah. Let's get into it. Get back to. And it sounded like the rantings of madman. But how could somebody from 2012 tell us everything the feds have now confirmed? Okay.
Exactly. Y'all let us know that. Tell Tisa that. Cause y'all trashed her, and you know, her and her channel. I mean, that was just wrong. Wrong.
Okay. Now, a lot of people said that there never was a settlement. A lot of people said that, and this has been verified from mainstream media, since some of y'all need somebody in a suit behind a desk to verify something to you, right? This has been confirmed by mainstream media. How is it that an NDA with Diddy's signature that has been verified for truth was actually signed? Jonathan Oddi's ex-wife was a lawyer. She broke her silence. You're going to hear from her later, but let's get in. We got all day, y'all. And don't worry, you know I'm going to repackage this into 1,000,000 10-minute videos if y'all want to listen to my ramblings. But for those of y'all that want to hear my ramblings drown out the droning annoying voice of your boss. Let's get into it. With no further ado, here is the NDA. Here we go. Confidential settlement agreement. Again, when Jonathan Oddi, let me just put this up here, this is when he was in his heyday. This is when Jonathan Oddi was in his heyday. You got the muscles, you got the face, he looked young and healthy. He was their pet 2012, 2013. However, he claims that Diddy gave him the hurt. And he knew
that came out of his own mouth, I think, during the interrogation. Okay? During the interrogation, that's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to remember the tapes back then when we was going through all this stuff and nobody believed it. And man, it was a trip.
All Diddy's business, okay? Jonathan Oddi on July 9th, 2014, in the state of Florida, the county of Miami-Dade, sworn and subscribed before me on this day, July 2014, by Jonathan Oddi, who was personally known to me and who did not take an oath. We have the notary republic. We blurred that out, but it is a notary republic. We have the seal of the commissioner in the state. This is a confidential settlement agreement. If I draw your attention to the bottom, it says Sean Combs individually and on behalf of Bad Boy Worldwide, Sean John Enterprises, and all affiliated entities and persons, okay, in the state of Florida, sworn and subscribed for to me. Listen, this
look, it even has in quotation, look, Combs parties. Ain't that something?
Has been verified by several news organizations that this is the actual NDA that Diddy and Jonathan Oddi signed when Jonathan Oddi sued that man for giving him hurt and for knowing all his business. You guys, this has confirmed this wild conspiracy theory that started on this channel. Let me just say, if you guys are new to my channel, I am going to be talking about the Diddy situation. I am going to be covering the trial. Please lock in, hit that subscribe. Now listen, really quick, we're going to get into Jonathan Oddi's wife's statements. We have that. Y'all are going to hear directly from her. But let me just say this, okay? His ex-wife was a lawyer, okay? And she's not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And she is the one that allegedly helped him with the settlement too. Again, this is an ironclad NDA. It is not, I know the dummies that don't got no critical thinking, that all y'all can do is figure out how to try to pull me down, but y'all can't figure out a way to research and make a story for your life. I know, but it has been confirmed. Okay, mainstream media is picking this up. This has been in the New York Post, the New York Times. This has been in the Daily Mail. This has been confirmed by several media outlets. Now, listen, if you guys want to know why you should actually subscribe to the channel and follow my Diddy coverage, you guys, I have had exclusive insider information the whole time. We were the first.
Before she gets all that, because all these first she about to say is totally true, because I have been there to see with my own eyes. And if you're going to come in my Valentine TV comments and say something rude, y'all, please just keep scrolling. Okay? Just keep scrolling, because I'm not paying any attention. All right? Because I've had a couple. So y'all don't do that.
First to break the story about Jonathan Oddi, okay? Back then it seemed crazy. The feds don't think it's crazy. Mainstream media don't have. It has been confirmed. We were the first to break the story about Jonathan Oddi. We were the first to expose all of Diddy's escort agencies and his favorite escorts from New York and in Miami. Sure. Okay. We were the first to confirm that Diddy was under New York State, local, and federal investigations. Sure. Even TMZ came out and said that's not true. We said we know for a fact it is true. We were the first to actually say that New York and New York State and New York local stepped aside because the feds, SDNY, the ones that took down Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, and El Chapo, and Ghislaine Maxwell, with their investigation, they said, you can stand down. We're taking over the investigation. And the state and the local said, okay, We were the first to confirm that they actually stepped in because Diddy's input, Diddy's influence on local was too much. We were the first to actually expose Diddy's involvement with Shine in Belize, and the way Belize is a gateway from the cartel mess from Mexico up into the US, and the way that Diddy hoped to leverage, again, that the people were saying that Diddy hoped to leverage, and that's why even though he screwed Shine over, he dumped a lot of money into Shine's campaign, because people were saying that he hoped to leverage Shine's political, if he became prime minister, the way it would be an open gateway, and the Chirac agenda that Jonathan Oddi talked about, and the way they were moving weight through private jets and all this other stuff. We were the first to actually say, and when I don't mean a day before, I mean months for. Diddy, the Cassie suit dropped in November 2023. In December 2023, we said Diddy's under federal, local, and state investigation. Diddy.
And y'all can go back and look at the date. Everything's timestamped. I'm trying to tell you, it's all true. No doubt. All right, but when she gets to Natanya Rubin, which we know is Grace now, I heard from somebody else. I don't know about her. Okay, that's just my opinion.
Will be arrested. Diddy is going to be out. We were the first to actually say months before that a federal grand jury will be convened. We got the timestamp on our lives. It wasn't like a day or two, it was months before, that a grand jury will be convened and Diddy is going to be under a grand jury indictment. They got the evidence. We were the first to say that Diddy would be arrested. I know I saw the people in my comments, you said MF and Naya, what has Diddy been arrested? And I was like, are y'all dumb? Not y'all. I'm not talking to y'all, sweet baby. But the people that literally were on other people's channels trolling, not using their brains. And that's the thing, the blind leading the blind, saying, oh, I thought you said he was going to be arrested. And I was like, you guys don't understand how federal investigations go. This could be a year or two, which would have been better for me because, baby, I would have wanted the views. We were the first to say that Diddy is 100% going to be arrested. And get this is even before anybody knew that he was even under investigation. We said he was going to be arrested for SMEX trafficking, RICO, wire fraud, embezzlement. We were the first to say that months in advance. When Diddy finally we were the first to say that Diddy was in New York.
That's right.
Harassing, people were saying, shaking hands, kissing babies. This is when he was a free man. Harassing witnesses, trying to get people to stay quiet, either by money or force or intimidation. Right. We were the first to break that story. We were the first to break that story where Diddy was out in Los Angeles, literally running up on Brandon after Brandon had been arrested for being his mule. We actually.
Oh yeah, y'all remember? And they met in a little alleyway, and then, in our opinion, I'm gonna say mine, Diddy had a car drive by just so Brandon could see that he had been caught on film. Because he wasn't supposed to have any contact with Diddy at that time, right? That's after the rug mule had been let out, for, like he was on, what you call it? Bail, bond, something like that. And he wasn't supposed to have any contact with Diddy, but he met Diddy in a darn alleyway. And somebody rode by and filmed it.
Showed that video. We were the first to say that. And by first, months ahead, when Diddy finally did get arrested for the reasons that we said he would be, we were the first to break that there was a tape. There was a tape of what he did to Cassie. When that tape broke, we were the first to say we did an actual emergency live that said, you guys, Diddy is going to try to get the opinion of public people. He's going to try to sway what everybody's saying. And we were the first to say we did an emergency live on Saturday.
Sure did.
And we were the first to say that Diddy is going to come out with an apology to Cassie. And confessing what he did. We told you when to the hour it was going to drop. We said that we think it's going to drop tonight. We said, but two of Diddy's lawyers have a wedding or a bar mitzvah or something's going on that they can't be there, right? So they don't want it to drop tonight because they can't like see what's going on. We were the first to say that. We just on that emergency live, we said it's going to drop. We said what he was going to say. We said the exact order he was going to say it. And we said the exact tone and where he was going to say it. The live's there. Y'all can go check it out.
Exactly.
And then at the end of that live on Saturday night, that's when I said, I've gotten word that those lawyers. Let me shut up. That's my source calling me. Okay. But let me just finish the sentence and I'll change the subject. We got word that the lawyers were in a bar mitzvah or a wedding or something was going on. And they decided it would be best for everybody to drop it the next day, that Sunday at 11:20. No, I'm sorry, at 11 a.m. We gave the time to the day, to the minute it was going to drop. Guess what? You know when that apology dropped? It dropped at 11:20 a.m. We said 11 a.m. Okay, Diddy, you showed me who was false. You dropped it 20 minutes later. But we also told you the exact thing he was going to say and the exact order.
Yeah, y'all. She has people watching her to make sure she don't say too much. That's why they'll call her in a minute. 36. They'll call her in a minute and tell her, hey, that's enough. Change subject. Talking too much.
He was going to say it, and two line by line of what we said. We also were the first to point out that Bonna, that girl that he hung over the balcony, before anybody even knew Bonna exists, we said this woman's name starts with a B. He hung her over the balcony, blah, 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 blah. We broke so many stories, and we broke it not even days before, but weeks before. Mainstream media, TikTok, anybody, any of these stories that are going, baby, this was the source. So that said, I know y'all got your favorites, but if you want to lock in with source information, if you want to get legitimate or at least information that won't make you look like one fool over the cuckoo's because we're not sitting here making up stories about how we rescued people from Epstein's Island and Diddy put a
oh my God. I hadn't even noticed that she had said that, y'all. Oh my God. We know where that came from. Woo.
Bang to our head, talking about you better sing B or whatever else cuckoo like people were saying. If you want things that have been vetted to a certain point and more information for you to make up your mind, but you don't look stupid at the office cooler, baby, lock in, hit that subscribe button on this channel. I might tell you a joke, but baby, I'm not going to tell you a lie. And again, baby, the investigation, it shows, the outline shows, the resume shows. So make sure y'all lock in for the Diddy trial because, baby, I have so much more information that I haven't been able to actually share because, again, I will say this, any information I have released, the one thing I'm always concerned about is the fact that it will not jeopardize the federal trial. Whether that is Diddy being found guilty or innocent, anything that we put out legally will not disrupt the way the trial is going. So there is so much information and evidence that I have that I'd like to share with you guys that I couldn't share back then because it would have disrupted the federal investigation and perhaps it would have put Diddy in a way, in a hole that he couldn't climb out of, but he could have used it to actually try to get a mistrial. Baby, you ain't getting free on my watch. Right. We are doing this completely legal. You ain't walking free on my watch, Diddy. Yes, I got your tea. Yes, I know more. Yes, I will wait until it is safe and cleared to actually talk about it. But baby, when I say I got some tea on what's going on in that Diddy trial, I got some tea. So make sure that you guys actually lock in. Okay, now here is, listen. Again, here is the thing. Now, listen, when we get into this NDA, it's very, very interesting because when it gets into the NDA, it's, hey, what's up, Jazzy? Thank you so much for becoming a Tattle member. Shout out to Jazzy Face V. Thank you for becoming a Tattle. Also, Mom.
Let's see. Okay. I told you I was going to skip a couple. I just hope I don't mess up nothing. Y'all know me. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go.
I did have unprotected sex with someone, and they got it. They didn't get it from me. Well, what proof do I have? I have a federal expert. I have a witness, an expert witness that testifies in federal trials. That is.
Wait a minute, y'all. Wait a minute, because I don't want y'all to miss Not anything, because I'm gonna be skipping.
If somebody sleeps with
Okay,
you
here you
and
go.
they have herp or even houses in Virginia, that is a federal crime to pass something like that on to somebody. Something you'll either have for the rest of your life or it could actually kill you. That is actually a federal crime. But here's the situation. When you say that you put somebody in danger, there's two ways you can get out of it. One, you can say, listen, I didn't know I had it. So it's unfortunate, but I had no idea. But that can easily be disproven if there are medical records showing that you actually did receive a diagnosis.
Yeah,
And even if the doctor never called you, you took the test. So
exactly.
it was up to you to actually find out what the results of those tests were. So if there was a test that confirmed that somebody had houses in Virginia, bodies in DC, right? Houses in Virginia or the herp, that would be easily disproven. Aha. But there's a second line of defense you can have against this federal crime. The second line of defense is saying, listen, I was on medication that kept my viral load so low that it is almost impossible or even impossible for me to ever truly have passed this along. So if I did have unprotected sex with someone and they got it, they didn't get it from me. Well, what proof do I have? I have a federal expert. I have a witness, an expert witness that testifies in federal trials. That is literally these experts' jobs. Okay, they come up, they're like, "Yeah, I've literally, I did the autopsy on like JFK, the Vatican, the Pope, whatever, and my receipts." And the federal prosecutors respect them. Like, no, you're an expert in your field. The thing that you can do that would be so amazing is to say, listen, I've looked at his medical charts and I've looked at his blood work. I've looked at his medical charts and I've looked at his blood work. And guess what? The medication he was taking kept these diseases in suppression mode, meaning they were suppressed. This is how Magic Johnson was able to live forever. They keep it in suppression mode. So even though, yes, technically they have the herp, yes, technically they have HIV, if they could say that about anyone.
She meant houses in Virginia.
You would want an expert to testify that it kept your viral load so low that it is impossible for you to have infected someone. Now, is that Diddy's strategy? I don't know. Is it a fact that Diddy's team asked for more time from the federal judge because they needed a medical expert to review medical records? That is true. They did ask for that in court. It's in the transcripts. Is it true? Is it true that they could not find a medical expert and they were still, at that time, a couple of weeks ago, they were still looking for medical experts that could cooperate a unique theory that his team had come up with? Yes. Listen, yes, that is 100% true. Now, do we know if Diddy has houses in Virginia? Absolutely. We did not ever let that man touch us. And I don't know firsthand whether. Do we know if Diddy has the herp? No, not for a fact. I've never touched him. I have no access to his medical records. Now, I have to be honest. Do we, upon information and belief, based off of verification through mainstream media, upon information and belief, have this NDA that is signed, a confidential settlement agreement that is signed by a notary and the Clark County Commissioner of Miami-Dade County in Florida? Do we know that it has Sean John's official seal and it has his lawyer's signature too? And Jonathan Oddi, and it is dated in June 9th, I believe, of 2014,
no doubt,
which is the exact time that we said that Diddy settled with Jonathan Oddi? Yes. Can we say that after Jonathan Oddi had, upon information and belief, and I'm going to give you all the evidence, that after Jonathan Oddi had, in fact, settled with Diddy, he had negative $1,800 in his bank account the day before and the day after he went on a multi-million-dollar property shopping spree? Absolutely. Can we say that?
I have never understood why he bought all those houses, though. He went on a shopping spree bought a lot of houses. I couldn't understand it unless he was gonna rent them out. You know what I mean? Or I don't know why he would why he would do it.
Diddy's team secured a federal expert witness to testify about this type of stuff? Absolutely. Again, the evidence that I found is there. You do with it what you want based upon information and belief. But baby, men lie, women lie, but confidential setting. Can we also confirm that when we broke the story and this is so, you know what like really made me like so frustrated? When you're talking to like crazy people, right? Like you talk, I literally was like, am I in upside down world? I did the evidence of Jonathan Oddi. I did the research. I really thought it would blow up all over YouTube because at the end of the day, use my stuff, just credit me. That's all. Like the same way if I get something from, I'd be like, yo, they did this really good research. And then that's how it goes. I get it. It's bigger than any of us. Just credit me in the story. But the fact that after I broke the story, about a week later, and this is when I was trying to pick up steam, there were all these weird sites that said Jonathan Oddi had died in a car crash.
Exactly.
And I did a video about it, but I went to the sites and shown that all these sites were dummy clone sites. And all these sites, right? It was almost like a government psych operation. I know it sounds crazy.
Yeah, we did that. Yeah, we went through because somebody's gonna try to say he was no longer here.
What else you say? When you clicked on the links, it would show somebody talking in India, or would say he died in a car crash or Dubai. And I was like, yo, Jonathan, and I said it on live because I wanted to show y'all what I found. Jonathan Oddi is clearly not dead, at least not from here. Where is he at? But the more important question is, who would have a vested interest in somebody thinking that Jonathan Oddi is dead? Not me, because I was making, baby, those clicks and views was in there for my Jonathan Oddi coverage. Why would I want that mofo to be gone? Like, wait, what? No, this is the story of the century. Who would want us to believe, at least a casual observer, and people that don't click on links, who would want us to believe that Jonathan Oddi is gone? And then I went to his court appearances. And I was like, wait a second, how is it? And people are like, oh my God, he's going to be on court. And I said, no shit, idiot. But there's more to the story. Why is it this man has been going up for court dates? He's completely sane. He's been found sane through an independent psychiatric evaluation. So he doesn't have the insanity. He's not in a loony bin or in the mental health hospital. Why would this man, after almost at this point, when I first discovered it, it was like after 6 years, now it's going on 8 years, literally keep having this person show up in court, but there's always an excuse. And also the fact that his court case, hear me out. I'm going to put up the lives later. I put up the receipts, but just let me give you a cliff notes. His court case, okay? His court case was taken over by the street gang division. These are the people that take over when somebody is in witness protection in Florida. Why would Jonathan Oddi wasn't representing himself? He actually got one of the best criminal defense attorneys in Florida.
Sure did.
He had money back then. And on top of that, he keeps going up for court, but he keeps changing. Let's also not forget that when he went in, the biggest thing that he got put into witness protection is when he went into Trump Doral and he shot the place up going bang, 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 bang. Let's also not forget, hold on, let me just take this off the screen. This is distracting me. I keep reading this NDA. Let's also not forget that when he actually did that, okay? Let's not forget that the actual commissioner of the commissioner of Florida, I think her name was Kathleen something. I'm forgetting her title, but she was the secretary, whatever. In Florida, there's a law that every time something happens with the police and there are guns drawn to it, they have to write a report. The report says who was involved, what happened, and what happened to the person. Were they taken into custody, or they, they actually legally did an investigation of this case when it happened, when Jonathan was in the Trump Doral, and they closed.
Y'all, I see y'all in here, and I appreciate it so much. Y'all mind hitting the like button or hit the subscribe button? I appreciate it so much.
Closed it out. and they closed it out and had Jonathan Oddi declared deceased. He is still declared deceased in the state of Florida, stemming from that incident. And on top of that, they never went back and changed his classification. So in the state of Florida, he's listed as deceased. And this happened back in 2018 when he went bang, bang, bang all over the truck throughout. Okay. 2014 is when he signed the settlement agreement with Diddy. 2012 and 13 is when he was Cassie's and Diddy's little plaything. 2018 is when he went crazy and went bang, bang, bang in a truck throughout. Okay. But the whole point of the matter is he's still legally declared deceased by the police commission and Kathleen, the Secretary of State, whatever she is of Florida. I'll put the documentation up in a second. But let me just get to the point. The point of the matter is, and this is really interesting, after that, he started making these dummy appearances in court. And for anyone to believe that this man is for in custody and he's been held for almost 8 years in jail, that goes against the Constitution. It goes against even the legal limits. Even Florida has a law that if somebody, I think, is kept without going in front of trial for more than 4 to 5 years, you must release them. Jonathan Oddi ain't in jail. Jonathan Oddi has been talking to the police. Jonathan Oddi, Cassie and Diddy know exactly who Jonathan Oddi is. Okay? Exactly who Jonathan Oddi is.
And I know, y'all know his name gonna be all up and down the trial. Because he heard a lot. He was in the interrogation room. He went in. She's not able to show the whole. Y'all have to go get it off the playlist. I'm trying to tell you. I might go get it for you. Because I'm trying to tell you that he was spitting out names, information, all of this.
Is Diddy's team knows exactly who Jonathan Oddi's team is. Again, there's a lot going on. And let's also not talk about Jonathan Oddi, the dancing bear, and even the escort agency that Diddy used in Miami, and the name of the different one in New York. And baby, we broke all of that down. Again, hit that notification. Okay, so let's get into the whole thing. Also, who actually said, listen, Jonathan Oddi said that's why Diddy settled with them. Facing Truth said, I truly believe he is spreading houses in Virginia. I will say this, right? I don't know if Diddy is spreading anything, right?
Yeah. I don't know. So we won't even go there.
Industry connections, which is why on my channel, I speak truth to power. Baby, I don't care about getting invited to any award show.
Nothing. She named them all, but she don't care about that. Tisa a real one, y'all, for real.
And vampires out of the village so that the women, children, and men can grow up without like having to do freak offs and like literally crying when they see a bottle of baby oil. Baby, I'm gonna start with my community first. So yes, I am gonna focus on the Black community because I am Black and I want to see the monsters get out of my community. Once I get the monsters out of my community, I can start looking at other communities. If you are Asian, Haitian, Puerto Rican, Tattle, Latino, Tattle, message me. I'll help drive monsters out wherever I can. But baby, please believe I'm gonna start in the Black community. Because this is the community I live in. Are y'all insane? They're like, literally, all the communities are doing that. Okay, when we find out, we'll get rid of them too. But for right now, baby, we are burning the vampires at the stake. Get those silver bullets and those wooden stakes ready. Somebody grab the rosary. So yes, on top of that, I am a big proponent about anybody that is a survivor of SA. But also, this story, it just has so many twists and turns, and it gets bigger than you can think. You know what I'm saying? Listen, here's the thing. Somebody said that Ali Carter said that they tested everyone's blood and urine.
Yeah, they said they tested everybody's blood and urine or something before everybody's but Diddy's. Right? Ali Carter is no. Her name is really Tori Outlaw. Okay. And y'all, please don't believe nothing she's saying. Don't come on my page messing with me about it. Okay? Just go look at some of my playlists And also, you can go to King World's page and look at his. His probably would. I would refer you to go over there if you want to know about Allie Carter and who is Tory Outlaw. And don't believe nothing. No, don't believe nothing she say. Okay, that's my opinion.
For actually being a survivor. Shout out for you for actually being a survivor. Okay, let's get into what Jonathan Oddi's wife actually said. Okay, let's get into what Jonathan Oddi's wife actually said. Let me pull this up for y'all right quick. Okay, so the wife was actually interviewed, and she said some very, very interesting things. Okay, we're gonna get into the rest of Jonathan Oddi's whatever interrogations in a second. But let me just tell y'all what the wife actually said. Okay, they said really quick before the wife. This is also important. God, there's so much information I have to give y'all, and you know I'm gonna break it down into separate videos. What? I said I love going down a rabbit hole, not for free. Y'all gonna have to give me that click. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is directly from NBC Miami. Since y'all don't want to believe me, when I actually say stuff and my investigation, I'm sure you will believe NBC Miami. They literally, after I broke it, touched on the story and said, alleged Trump Durham gunman Jonathan Oddi, they say alleged because even though we have him on tape, we just showed y'all, he has not been convicted. He has not even stood trial. He is in witness protection. Alleged Trump Durham gunman Jonathan Oddi went from dead broke to property buying spree in 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
When a 6-year marriage dissolved in August of 2014, now keep that date in mind. He signed, according to the NDA that we just showed y'all, that has been verified by multiple news outlets. We told y'all the NDA existed. Y'all didn't want to believe the thing, right? They said, according to, what's up, Bonita Howard? Thank you, and good morning to you, Mama, too. Thank you so much for being a Tattle for 14 months. Okay, so when it came to this, keep in mind these dates. We're going to come back to them, class. June 9th, 2014, he signed the confidentiality settlement agreement. You guys all know that whenever you have a settlement agreement, especially if it's big money, you don't just get the money that day. There's a bunch of legal stuff that happens, and you usually get the money within like a few weeks, maybe even a few months of settling. Because you know there's tax, they move around.
That's hers that time, y'all.
It doesn't just happen like the day of, okay? So June 9th, 2014, according to the NDA, it showed you he signed off that confidentiality agreement, and that was the first part of the settlement. However, his marriage dissolved in August of that year, so less than 2 months later. Keep that in mind because the wife is really salty about that. You'll hear. They said that the accused Trump national Doral shooter, Jonathan Oddi, claimed to have a net worth of negative $1,800. His account was overdrawn by $1,800. Again, he was a exotic dancer / escort. You know how that is. You live in paycheck to paycheck. It's fine. This is before OnlyFans. OnlyFans made multimillionaires out of people that were sex workers. But back then, you really were literally. Hold on, y'all. Back then, you really did only have as many clients as you could service at that time. Do you know what I'm saying? So it capped the money you could make. Anyway, they said Jonathan Oddi was making $2,000 a month this is directly from South Florida NBC News. Jonathan Oddi was making $2,000 a month as a self-employed fitness trainer. He swore in a financial affidavit filed in Miami-Dade Circuit Court that his debts outpaced his assets. So he had tried to file for bankruptcy. That's how we know all this. Again, when I say, baby, I bring court records. I don't got to lie and say I was there. I don't got to lie and say the hand of God came and told me. I'm just telling y'all what I found, right? They said, but less than a month after his divorce from attorney Tonya Troutwine, he launched a buying spree. This is after a month. He launched a buying spree of distressed properties, right? He spent $760,000 for each property. He bought a total of 5 properties over a 2-month period according to Miami-Dade County property records. Okay, now this is why we're going to get into that. Remember those dates. He got the settlement after his divorce to his wife went through. His wife believes that he structured the settlement, that he got that money after the divorce so she could not have access to it.
And she a lawyer. And she didn't see it, boy. She is hot. She was hot.
Damn. The records show that none of the properties were purchased with a mortgage. So this means a man that only made $2,000 a month from being a personal trainer. Yeah, he was Diddy's favorite export, but at the end of the day, this was before OnlyFans. So you were limited by how many people your body could take in a day. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, you went and you divorced your wife, who you seem to have a good relationship with. You divorced your wife and then got that settlement, and you went on a buying spree, $765,000 per property, and you paid cash for all of them. Get this. The records show none of the properties were purchased with mortgage, suggesting they were cash purchases. So South Florida NBC News 6 said, so where did a fitness trainer who was worse than flat broke in August 2014 acquire enough cash in September 2014 to start buying properties that were headed for foreclosure? A lawyer for Jonathan Oddi and his ex-wife would not comment beyond reacting to Oddi allegedly drawing police into the lobby of the Trump Doral Resort with gunfire, only to be banged himself by one or more of the 5 responding officers. They're looking into all possibilities and into everything that promoted this event and what occurred during this event. Property records reveal Jonathan Oddi and his now inactive estate firm, Oddi Investment LLC, do not currently own any property in Miami-Dade. But beginning on September 5th, 2014, and ending on October 30th, 2014, he bought 5 properties that were otherwise headed for foreclosure.
He okay. Remember he signed the NDA July 9th. I remember that because that's one of my son's birthdays. Then him and the wife on divorce August 14th. I remember because it's my cousin's birthday. And then in September, he was busy for the 3 to 4 months.
They range from 3 homestead condos, right, to a Bayshore Drive condo in Miami, and that was a condo that he paid like I don't know, like $750,000 for that, where he apparently lived for the next 2 years. The properties purchased for a total of millions of dollars, and they were transferred from him to his company. Oh, and get this. He then sold them 18 months to 2 years later. So you guys, you have to remember the timeline. He bought them in 2014. He shot up Trump Doral in 2018, right before he decided to go in and shoot up Trump Doral, which it was an ambush for the police. And even, I think in one of my old lives, I paid the actual press conference that the police chief actually said, where he got on there and faced the Miami people and said, we believe that civilians were not his target. We believe that this was an ambush that he set for the police. Why would
Yes, it is in the playlist. I remember it.
Somebody out the blue set an ambush for the police if they were cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Hold on really quick.
Okay.
Hey, I'm on live. Can I give you a call back?
All right.
Okay, so Jamie just said, do you think he got a settlement and Diddy still stalked him, threatened and slashed his tires like he did LaTanya, which made Jonathan Oddi go crazy and do the Trump thing for attention? Seems as if even if you get paid off, he still wants to keep a dark cloud over you. Now, here's the thing. Diddy has been accused by...
If y'all don't mind, we know about the bang in the face, and I just have this thing about Natanya Rubin, the dope, you know what I'm saying? Her real name may be Grace. I don't know. It's something about her. I gotta find out more about her, okay? Yeah. So let's just skip that little part. All right.
At the time, his comments were dismissed as delusions of a mentally ill maniac. This is Daily Mail. This is New York Times. This is New York Post. Baby, what you want, what you want, what you want. This is them saying this. But we can now confirm that Jonathan Oddi did know Diddy and was guarding a secret so scandalous that the rapper asked him to sign an NDA agreement to protect it. The agreement is dated 2014, 4 years before the Doral shooting and 10 years before Diddy's life came crashing down with a federal indictment for sex trafficking. Jonathan Oddi told police in Doral that he had signed the document in exchange for $5 million. There's more. He said, he's scared I will expose him. My settlement put me in a box. Basically, I couldn't talk because I was going to be sued. They kept following me. He also claimed I turned over a tape to Diddy's then lawyer, Mark Garagos, his then and his present lawyer, Mark Garagos. This explains to me why Mark Garagos won't actually make an appearance in court, because maybe you tied to this deeper than you think. The contents of that alleged tape are unknown. Now, Jonathan Oddi's former wife, Tonya Troutwine, exclusively told Daily Mail how he unraveled after that agreement with Diddy, now on trial in Manhattan for a slew of sex crimes. She says, and she is a licensed lawyer, the date of that contract was around the same time as our divorce. I almost feel like he divorced me because he came into all this money and so I wouldn't claim it. But she does say, to be fair, our lives were already going in different paths. I started feeling like a third wheel in someone else's life rather than a wife. They said they had mostly a happy marriage between 2008 and 2014. Okay. But Oddi became more involved in the party and corn scene. And his wife says they drifted apart. What began as a job stripping at bachelorette parties turned into a more hardcore career in the adult film industry. His wife believes he met Diddy through work. Although she has never met Sean Diddy, she said it wasn't uncommon for A-list celebs to pick up women and men at the ultra-exclusive Star Island parties in Miami Beach. Soon, the time he would spend with his wife, according to her, became less and less as Jonathan sunk deeper into the party life. It was also around the time that he allegedly started partying with Diddy and Cassie Ventura. Again, this is the Jonathan Oddi that was partying on screen, right?
Yeah. That's him.
She goes on to say, this is Jonathan Oddi's wife, who is a licensed lawyer. Diddy just has one of those radiating personalities. And I can tell you that Jonathan Oddi really enjoyed the attention, you know? I can tell you that Diddy really enjoyed the attention. You know, Diddy likes to be the king. Johnny would have played into that perfectly. I can see where they might have started off as a friendship because Johnny would have made him feel like a king. After she found out Johnny was having an affair with one of his co-stars, right? She said she decided it was time to get out the marriage. By August 2014, they had filed for divorce, but still remained amicable with each other. Does she know that she could have sued him? Because that means if Diddy gave Jonathan the hurt, that means that she got the hurt too. She said he kept on insisting that we signed the divorce paperwork, which I thought was very odd how he wanted to get things done so quickly. It was only later that I found out that he had signed this agreement with Diddy. In the divorce documents, Jonathan claimed he was making $2,000 a month as a fitness trainer, and he claimed that he owed the bank $1,800 in overdraft fees. But less than a month after filing, Jonathan went on a property buying spree and bought up more than 5 properties.
That's what I'm talking about, y'all. If you was to get $4.5 million, would you just buy a bunch of houses? What would you do? I mean, I don't know. But okay.
Over 2 months at $7.
Oh, and we're about done.
$165,000 each. The records indicate none of the properties were purchased with a mortgage. And it makes me think he paid all cash. They said the spending spree lasted from September 5th to October 30th. The spending spree coincides when he claims he received his NDA windfall from Diddy. Okay? Again, it all came to an abrupt end after he stormed into the Trump's National Doral Golf Club. Investigators said Oddi carried an American flag into the lobby of the Miami Golf Resort and shouted about the president before allegedly banging at officers who shot him in the legs and arrested him. The Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office filed charges of attempted murking of law enforcement officers, armed burglary, and armed grand theft. They reached out to Jonathan's attorney. Jonathan's attorney has said no comment. His wife pointed out the timing of her former husband's mental breakdown just months before Ventura finally ended her decade on and off again relationship with Diddy.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna let that go right here. If y'all want to hear it, Tisa uninterrupted, and you want to hear it all uninterrupted and everything, please go to Tisa Tales on YouTube and all platforms. Okay. Thank y'all for joining Valentine TV. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, also the like button, and share it if you can. I'll talk to y'all later. Okay. Thank y'all for coming.